The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, and you saw, coming back from break, our special guest in the studio during the Steuben County Office for the Aging section of our program, Sheriff Allard. Good morning.
Good morning, Frank. It's a beautiful day in Steuben County.
It always is. And this time you actually mean it. It is
it is
a
gorgeous
nice night
out today. Yes.
I just wanted to mention quickly, because people are just tuning in, and the big news, non-news this morning, is Representative Lawler is going to announce his decision on whether or not he's going to run for governor. But it's going to happen today.
Well, it's good. It's going to be good to know who is going to be opposing what we have.
Yeah. I mean, I was hoping not everybody's going to wait till like Labor Day or something, but it's starting to increasingly look like that.
Right. Whoever runs needs to get out now and start showing that there's another choice.
Yes. I could not agree more. All right, we've got a lot to get to. First of all, the question that everybody's dying to know, how's the garden?
The garden is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So we've had it on our administrative staff in the jail is getting a little tired of me because now we've added apples, pears, apple trees, pear trees, plum trees, blackberries, and raspberries.
Wow.
Around the outside of the garden.
Yeah.
So we have an actual full-fledged orchard starting up, not only to supplement, but also with the garden. And the garden is going gangbusters now.
Good.
It's real. This has been a great year for the garden. It's growing like mad.
Well, what a smart move, because you use it. This isn't going to waste.
No.
This isn't just to kill
gosh,
time.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. It feeds the inmates, and it also goes to local food pantry. So it's a win-win for us.
But it started as a very small thing, and now you're asking them to be tending orchard. What's next? How many acres do you guys own?
Well, there's the old farm across the road that the county still owns.
We're gonna do corn
So
next.
we could expand, but it's great in a couple of ways. It teaches the inmates that work it how to be food sufficient, self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And it was an article. I can't remember the publication, but it was a gardening magazine came and interviewed our administrative staff about it. And just the fact that we're taking these folks and giving them the training and then giving back to the community, I just can't think of a better example of rehabilitation.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Is this something common in jails throughout the?
It's becoming more common. I can't remember where it was. They had an article about it, but since we've been doing it, you see more and more, especially in New York, more and more folks starting it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, people did actually ask about the garden. That's why I wanted to start off with it.
It's going bananas.
And obviously, next to the garden, the biggest topic. Anything on the county that's worth reporting?
Nothing.
Does that make you nervous when it's quiet?
Well, I look at it from a couple of perspectives. I almost feel bad for the legislators, because I think they're starting to realize now that they were used and that they were misled intentionally, and they were told a lot of things that weren't true.
Right.
And they made decisions based on that. And I think that the vast majority of them now are going, what the heck did we do?
Yeah.
And, I see a different reception when I go to committee meetings now, and that's nice. But again, there's still
a lot of damage done.
Yeah. And it woke up the populace to, hey, we got to pay attention to this. This is our county, and I'm happy to see that. So we'll see what the future brings. I continue to move forward. We continue to implement new programs. We continue to hire and train, and we'll continue to do our job as we have for the last 10 years.
Well, and you say do your job. I always kind of joke with you on the program, but I love the newsletter, and it is remarkable how you find the time to do everything, especially garden. But I mean, with all the classes and all, it's quite a lot of labor involved in being.
Well, as you know, you get out what you put in, and all of our supervisors just finished a 10-month program on supervision. It was a monthly interactive training that the Sheriff's Foundation financed for us, and it gave us the opportunity to train every single first and second line supervisor in liability responsibility as a supervisor.
Yeah.
every day, looking at the decisions they make and how it's going to either invite liability or deter liability, which makes the county safer, more healthy,
Yeah.
more whole. And those kinds of things that we do invest in, such as those kind of training programs, pay off exponentially
Yeah.
throughout
The future.
those, yes,
Yeah.
not just for right now, but for the careers of those folks, because today's sergeant is tomorrow's lieutenant,
Right.
and so on up. So
It's really an investment in not just your department, but in the county.
correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So those are the things that I most like to invest in and most like to
Yeah.
participate in and bring to our folks, because again, we've got such a great workforce at the sheriff's office. We really have true professionals, and being able to give them the opportunity to take that up one more notch, it benefits everyone.
And I've got a lot of things we're going to jump around and ask a lot of questions this morning, because people keep asking about, obviously ICE, and we're seeing it. So I'm going to ask you that in just a second. But we have a person that writes in the program, and she sends us a quote a week, and it's really nice. And her name's Karen, and she says she wants to make the name Karen great again, because it's had such a bad reputation lately. So she's been sending one a week, and it's become a fan favorite. So her quote this week, and she thought maybe you could respond to it, is from the great Thomas Sowell. And the quote is, we seem to be getting closer and closer to a situation where nobody is responsible for what they did, but we are all responsible for what somebody else did.
Correct.
Isn't that a great quote?
That is a great quote. And you've heard me, rail against the changes in our corrections world from the state, because it makes it appear as if the correction officers are the problem,
The bad guy.
instead of the solution. And, the solution is training and supervision, always is, and to breed professionalism. But when you talk about that, one of the last bills that went through the Assembly and Senate this year was an omnibus bill about corrections, where they wanted to expand. Right now, we have a 3-person commission of corrections that oversees all of the jails and prisons.
Yeah.
And one's a retired sheriff, one is a retired corrections worker from New York City, and the other one's a doctor.
Okay.
And they put in the omnibus to expand that to, it's either 9 or 11 people. The majority appointed by the Assembly and the Senate, one of which has to be a convicted felon who has done time in prison. This is to provide oversight to the corrections world.
Unbelievable.
And one has to be an advocate that's never been involved in the criminal justice system.
Okay.
So they're the folks that are going to be determining whether or not we're complying with state standards, and they get to elect their own chair.
Yeah. And you've got one party rule in Albany, so I'm guessing there's not going to be a lot of Republicans involved in this.
I would bet on that. But
unbelievable.
we rely on the Commission of Corrections to give us sage advice and leadership on how we should tackle new and unique problems. Tell me the last time you could get 9 people to agree on anything.
Anything. Yeah, but that's a great point. Do you think with next year being an election year in Hochul, probably a little concerned, specifically if a Republican gets out there strong and is good on fundraising, do you think she'll, even if they're just sugar-coated, but will try to do something when it comes to public safety?
She's going to have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, that's what Lee Zeldin almost got her on, right?
Right.
So.
And I've already heard that. We had the New York State Sheriff's Conference last week, and Jackie Bray, the director of Homeland Security for New York State, came and presented and touted how, the governor fixed bail reform, and how,
no way, really?
Yes, and how the governor fixed discovery, and how we need to get behind the governor, especially where federal funding is concerned.
That person does not get paid enough to say stuff like that. Wow.
And we're all kind of sitting there going,
I would be a nervous wreck if I were her. Telling you guys?
Yeah. Well, we were all very respectful.
Oh, of course.
But
how was the conference otherwise?
Oh, it was phenomenal. It was scary.
Yeah.
It was a little bit scary. We had a fella come in that has been on the forefront of AI and laid out how to use it to your advantage, but also the fact that within, in his opinion, within 10 years, AI is going to start correcting itself.
Ooh.
Yes.
Learning
and looking to correct society also.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And that's 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, let's have fun. It's 10 years.
But right now he was talking about the advantages of using it. He's worked with Montgomery County So if you need a dump ticket, you click your app, it's on your phone.
Oh, okay.
That kind of
Helpful ways.
that he has worked with different counties, and he made his millions, working for Spotify and other folks that use AI to predict what you're going to hear.
And they're always right.
Yeah, I know. And so he gave us, I think it was a 3-hour class on it. It kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, where it's headed.
Yeah.
It's also when you think of
how inept I am about it.
Oh yeah,
too.
well yeah, that's it. I am right there with you. But I worry about how that getting in the wrong hands. We talk about this a lot with scams, right?
Yes.
And I've been reading about these scams
yes.
where people are using a family member's voice essentially to get an older relative to send all this money in. It's a bad guy's always going to find a way to use any new technology.
Yes.
How do you even prepare for that though?
Again, it's public education is a lot of it, and in being, we encourage everyone to be present in their elderly relatives' lives.
Yeah.
Because hopefully they'll pick up that phone and ask, "Hey Frank, somebody just called me. Should I do this?"
Yeah, right.
And
are you really in a Mexican prison?
Yeah.
They
said I wasn't supposed to call your dad.
Yeah, exactly. But that's really what they do, and
exactly
I knew someone
what they do,
who went through that. And their father, didn't give the money, but ran right up to the house thinking that their
I've known
son,
a few. Yeah, I've known a few that have given the money.
Oh, really? That's so sad. But you can see where they could be duped. How many people have got duped on little things?
Absolutely. I can see someone calling my kid's grandmother and saying that they're them, and she's going to give them anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So always think it through. Always. I mean, this didn't mean to be a PSA, but you really do have to do it.
You do.
And speaking of AI, this is just a side tangent. I read an article the other day just to show you how prevalent it's becoming. There's a radio station group, not locally, radio station group. They're not even going to have DJs anymore. It's all going to be AI voices. Isn't that scary?
Yeah. Well, it was funny. I listen to audiobooks a lot when I travel.
Yeah, of course.
And to help me stay awake to drive. And I'm listening to one the other day, and I'm like, that's got to be an AI voice.
Yeah.
It's not a real voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And it's good.
Yeah.
That's the scary thing. I mean, they pronounce the words right now, not like your GPS that can never pronounce Elmira. Elmira.
At the Chobung County Airport.
I can't blame some of that. But anyway, we got to take a short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV, Big Fox. The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio during the Steuben County Office for the Aging section of our program. Steuben County Office for the Aging, committed to maximizing quality of life, safety, and independence. We get talking off the air, and I forget what I'm going to ask you next. I got to do a better job of remembering.
Distract you.
I know, but obviously, so many people ask about ice, and that's the biggest topic, right? The biggest topic going. How does that work for you? Because I know we've talked about it in the past. What are we looking at? Because New York State always.
New York State wants to prohibit any interaction whatsoever, and then, of course, you saw the governor put how many million into an account to defend them. But so in Steuben County, we took to the legislature 2 months ago to enter into an agreement with ICE.
Okay.
They have a program. It's called the 287G program. And I just saw on Facebook that Sheriff Hood in Madison County did the same thing. What we did was we agree with them and set up a contract to have members of our office trained in the use of their records management system.
Okay.
And it gives us the ability, so if we have someone that's getting out of the jail that has an actual warrant from federal warrant through ICE, we'll transport them right up to Batavia and turn them over to them.
It's so much safer.
And, well, it's safer for us because if they're in our jail already, that kind of means they committed a crime or alleged to. And that gets them, instead of back out onto the street and having ICE have to find them, like what happened up in Tompkins County.
Exactly.
Now we have the ability to know that they're wanted. We don't have to wait until ICE contacts us. We'll be able to look, and then we can get them right to them, turn them over. And it makes it safer because what happens when someone is released that's wanted by ICE, they're going to come get them.
Right.
And anybody that's with them that's not here legally is going to be taken with them because they're not here legally.
And that's even former official for Barack Obama said that yesterday, because that's why I'm going through my paperwork right now, because they said I've got to agree with Tom Homan that for everybody's safety. Yeah, it's just Homan's right that keeping ICE out of jails means more collateral arrests.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're trying to streamline that. And again, I look at it as working with our law enforcement partners, and happy to do so. And it also takes away the need to call ICE and say, do you want this guy or don't you?
Right.
Because we can look it up and we'll know.
That's great.
So I think it streamlines it, makes everybody safer, makes the person that's wanted by ICE safer.
At the end of the day,
now they're not back out in the public with the chance of something bad happening to them.
Speaking of that, on a lighter note, did you see the story today? Florida Attorney General, so they're talking about ICE, they're talking about this, and he said, we recently got a tip from someone whose abusive ex overstayed a tourism visa. He is now queued up for deportation. So as a public service announcement, if your ex is in the country illegally, please feel free to reach out to this office. We'd be happy to assist. That's a clever idea. To get some, he probably got a lot of phone calls. But it is amazing. That was on a lighter note, but we are always on the wrong side of history on things like this in New York State. And Governor Hochul is going to fight this tooth and nail, and it's not going to work.
Well, they're basically trying to. It's got a bad spot in history, because when you look at states that have said federal law doesn't apply to us, you go right back to the Civil War and secession.
Yep, exactly.
And she's saying now that federal law doesn't apply to us, and we can't. I'm like, whoa, you're entering into a very dangerous realm. And
isn't it amazing? It was so predictable that our budget was going to be the way it is right now. I mean, I know we talked about it with Phil, just because you can't rely that heavily on the feds when you were at a time, especially at that point, Doge was still king.
Yes.
And so she did this on purpose, and now she can blame Trump and Republicans.
Right.
That's, I mean,
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, it's so frustrating, and that's why. But, whether it's Lawler, whether it's Elise Stefanik, like you said, we've got to get behind them. We got to work for them. But, boy, after seeing Mamadani in New York win, a socialist win, it makes me concerned about the whole state.
You got to look at his competition, too.
Well, Cuomo, yeah, you're right.
Cuomo and Adams.
Yeah.
So,
it's tough. But, boy, a socialist,
I know. It's a lot of the very young vote. The Gen Zers are.
Did you see that today? 6 and 10.
6 out of 10, yeah.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Believe, and they like. So we can't just. Of course, it's the word like, right? Well, like socialism.
And again, that's what they've learned. And I've got 3 kids. One's a staunch conservative. One's kind of middle of the road, and one is as left as you can be. And
Thanksgiving must be fun.
We don't talk politics.
Good. Well, like the way it used to be.
It's like the Saturday night skit where they're singing Adele.
Yeah, exactly.
But I look at the different times that they went through the education system.
Yeah. I don't know. When you see Columbia, you see these things, you don't want to get jaded. You don't want to start. You can't, right? I can't remember who it was I interviewed a long time ago where I said, is New York lost? And they said, you can't believe it. You can't give up on it. Or you've lost, right?
No.
And I don't think it is, but we got to have hope. We got to, but.
Well, I think, that's the information age has affected our young folks. They've had every bit of information available, but they never have developed the experience and the wisdom to know how to use that information. And I'm not just saying, I'm not that crotchety old guy that's saying that, but that's so much information to process, and it's so easily packaged and maneuvered that unless you have the benefit of experience, you can't necessarily process that without the lens that's been established for it.
And I can't remember who said it, but when you see the attitudes of some of the younger people, they're going to colleges to teach, not to learn. They're so confident in what they quote unquote know.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. And so I don't know how we got on this side tangent, but I think it's necessary to have the conversation. As again, if you are just tuning in, Mike Lawler is going to announce one way or the other today. Elise Stefanik did say at that fundraiser for Langworthy that it's not a matter of if, it's when. Everybody's flirting with it. Let's get some answers here.
Let's get some movement.
Okay, moving along here. By the way, we got a comment from a viewer, and I thought this was good. Good morning, Frank and Sheriff Allard. Well, good morning to you as well. What we did in our family to avoid some scammers was to set up a passcode with our children and grandchildren. This passcode gives us the ability to positively identify each other. I hope this will help avoid some AI scams. That's a great point. Just have a secret code or a secret word, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, smart listeners out there. Smart viewers. I like that.
You got smart viewers.
We
That's
do.
it.
We always knew we did. So speaking of some of the reforms that we're going to need in New York to really get us back on the track, did you see Trump talking about cashless bail?
No.
Said, he was speaking out on the cashless bail. Yeah. He says it's a disaster, but I'd love to hear from him because of that. Was it I think it was that ICE agent off duty. I think it was an ICE agent that got shot in New York City.
Yep.
And he said that's been a disaster. We're not the only state that does it, but it's been a disaster for crime across the country.
It has. It was in the last conference, DCGS comes and presents all the crime stats, and you see it from 2010 to 2019, all the crime stats like this, 2019, boom.
Yeah.
And now it's started down, so right now we're less than we were here, so they say that's a good trend.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's really helping.
But we're still above where we were in 2018.
And we predicted
significantly. Everybody predicted.
How could you not see it coming a mile away? That's what makes it so frustrating. I'm glad Trump's speaking out on it. I wish more people would talk about it, and I know that I don't think anything's going to come from this, so I'm not getting my hopes up. But Albany had a really bad July 4th weekend with violence and flare gun usage and some really weird things. They said there is a conversation going a little bit maybe about raise the age.
Right.
I don't know. Do you think anything will change?
No.
Then of course you have the people that just want to ban flare guns. So really, they said anybody.
Well, even you look locally, we've had 3 shootings already this summer.
Yeah, I saw that.
In Steuben County, and a death by stabbing.
Wow.
That's already just this in the last couple months. Yeah. In Steuben County, I did I think my first 10 years at Corning PD was 0 homicides.
Yeah.
We didn't see one. And now we're seeing at least 10 a year across the county.
It's horrible. And the raise the age concerns me because what people don't understand, especially in the city, they're smart enough, these gang members. I mean,
and again, we predicted it.
That they're going around recruiting these young people because why not? You have a young person that holds onto your guns, your cash, your drugs.
Yeah.
They're not going to get in trouble, and they know it. And that leads to that level of cockiness that they know it. And then the other gang members get away with murder.
Literally murder. Yeah.
And whoever thought these are good ideas, but again, this is the idea of one-party rule, and it's also, I guess they don't want to. Who are their constituents that they would anger by changing this? That's what I don't understand.
By making people safer.
Yeah.
That's all special interest lobbyist
Yeah,
groups.
it really is.
But Sheriff Baxter in Monroe County runs a specialized security detention, which is one of the new facilities for 17-year-olds accused of serious violent felonies.
Yeah.
And he said 90% of the 17-year-olds he has in there are accused of murder.
Wow.
Yeah.
17 years. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so you've got raise age, you've got the cashless bail, all the bail reform. That's why it's so funny at your conference that they said they fixed bail reform.
Yeah.
But that's why we need the change, and that's why I keep harping on the governor's race, because nothing's going to get done with Hochul.
No, nothing's going to change with the one-party rule, and that's unfortunate. I know that our partners, Phil and Tom and Joe, they work diligently to be heard and try to make a difference. But I feel for them.
I know.
It's got to be like bashing your head into a brick wall
every day, because
Holy moly.
if you look at some of the great ideas of bills that Joe has put up, and Phil, of course, but Joe being new to it, he sends out more press releases, and you go, these are brilliant ideas, and he knows, writing and putting all that work into it, that it just went in the trash pile the minute he handed it in.
And unless he can get a progressive Democrat to co-sponsor it with him, it's going nowhere.
Yeah, and those are not the kind of things, especially when you talk about public safety, that are going to get that progressive Democrat. It's like you said, it's just got to be so frustrating. But hopefully things will get better. I don't know how you word that, but I thought after maybe the July 4th weekend, there was originally some talks about changing and raise the age, but I just don't think there's enough support for it.
I don't think there is either. But again, we tend to in New York State throw the baby out with the bathwater when we make change. Bail reform, was it needed? Yeah.
Not in the
there
way.
was a disparity for folks that didn't have money compared to folks whose families did have money. That needed to be fixed. But instead of doing this, we went bam,
boom,
with the
really
needle.
did. Yeah.
And same thing with raise the age. There's certain felonies that should automatically be treated as an adult. Murder being one of them. Yeah. And homicide should be automatically treated as an adult, and there should be that ability to do that. Otherwise, you're taking away a consequence which discourages this kind of behavior.
Yeah. Well, we got to take a short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV, Big Fox. The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back during the Steuben County Office for the Aging section of our program where we're interviewing Sheriff Allard. There's so much to cover. And I want to say congratulations on the accreditation of Steuben County Jail.
Thank you. What it was we're nationally accredited for our health services, which is we had to really work to get there. But partnering with our provider, Prime Care, I was happy to be able to get there and get that certification. And again, the work that our correction officers do and everybody involved with that is just phenomenal. And it's just another example of their professionalism. I couldn't be more proud of them.
Do you see the cost, by the way, to the state of overtime with corrections officers at the state level? I think it was like $480 million or something.
We interviewed a guy that's on our deputy list 2 days ago that as a National Guardsman is working nights at Groveland still.
Really?
And getting paid at that level.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm making bank up here.
I'm sure.
And he's working 12-hour shifts overnight at Groveland. He lives in Bath. And I'm like, holy moly, how can we even tempt you to walk away from that?
You can't compete.
Yeah.
How have the new corrections officers went that you guys got?
So we hired 12. Then the state said, we're still in love with you and we'll take you back. And
we didn't mean anything
by
it,
We didn't
baby.
mean it. Yeah, it was like a bad divorce. We didn't mean it. We want you to come home. Yeah. So 7 of them went back. Actually, 2 of them just left the corrections altogether.
I can't believe it.
So we still have 5 that have continued to work and say they're in, they love it there. And, thank you so much for having us on board, and we're not leaving.
That's got to be great, though, for them, because they went from seeing how they were treated.
Yes.
And, I've said this a million times, but yes, if people want to make more money and everything they do and things like that, but sometimes you got to worry about your mental and physical health at the end of the day.
And they can work. They don't have to work, 1 million hours a week.
That's right.
And they can go home at night.
Family. Yeah.
And again, we tend to take pretty good care of our employees and treat them with respect and value. So I think that went a long ways with them.
I'm sure. And at the end of the day, getting 5 is not bad. I mean, we need it. I mean, we need it. You were destitute.
Yeah, we were 16. So we have 75. We're supposed to have 75 full-time correction officers. We were 16 down.
Oh, wow.
So now we're about 10 down.
Yeah. Well, gotta start somewhere, right?
But with this, and we've talked about the state readies not being taken by the state, we were up to 200 inmates for the first time since bail reform.
Oh, my goodness.
And because we had 35 that needed to go to the state that they weren't taking, and then we had another 14 parole violators, which, boom, to our population. Luckily, the state is now starting to take them. They're taking 400 a week across the state, so we're down to 15 state readies now.
Okay. And another big question that we normally get on the program, boater safety courses. How are they
Still going every month. Oh, yeah.
Have you found that there's been a lot of people that were shocked that never got the word that they had to have it?
There is, and of course we present it, at the Keuka Lake Association, the Lamoka Juanita Lake Association, and people are like, well, what happens if I don't get it? Well, the first fine is $250.
Oh, wow. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's wow.
We've seen a great outpouring of people. We're filling them every month, and you can take it online if you can't get into a class too. So
I'm sure there's a lot of people that were playing catch up when they, especially when the weather turned nice.
Yeah. And if you get it and you go in to get your enhanced ID license, you can get the boater. Okay. It's an anchor on your license that shows you have it.
Is there going to be any room on these IDs anymore? It's like a NASCAR.
Yeah.
That's actually a good idea to Hochul. Start advertising on our IDs, make a little extra money for us. So it is summertime. We're talking about that. How are the camps? Everything going?
Fantastic. Yeah. Summer camp's been great. Our kids went up. I think we sent 13 this year. They had a great time and loved it. And we have had some pushback this year from some of the downstate counties because kids can't have cell phones with them.
Oh, yeah.
So some of the parents actually have been pushing back against that.
Oh, interesting. So what are they going to do when summer's over and they can't have them in schools.
Well, that kind of helps us out a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's that's one of the tenets of the camp is you're unplugged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first 2 days is withdrawal.
Yeah.
Detox.
You're sitting there going like this.
Sweating, itching.
Yeah.
Boy, that's going to be
But it's going very, very well.
Oh, that's wonderful. And then, and I know we talk about this every time, but I don't want to miss it before we run out of time. With the changes that you're making at the camp, like what you want to do, and why
with
is
the
the word?
wellness.
Thank you, wellness. I couldn't think of exactly what you're calling it. How's that all going? Because I know last time we talked,
really well.
Oh, good.
Really well.
It's fundraising time.
Fundraising's going, and if anybody wants to support that, the New York State Sheriff's Institute at it's I can't remember the address, Oak Street in Albany. Anybody that wants to do a private donation, please feel free. Reach out to me or reach out to the Sheriff's Institute, and we'll tell you where to send it. But I really feel like we're going to be saving lives with that.
So many lives are going to change because of that.
Yes.
And it's I mean, it's easy to say it's long overdue, but it is. Something like this is so necessary.
It is.
If it's so beneficial to kids, right? And this is a whole next level.
Yeah. How beneficial is it going to be to our first responders that are struggling?
Absolutely. So you know what? Let's take our last break, and then we'll wrap up with a couple other fun topics when we come back. Yeah. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking. The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. This is the Steuben County Office for the Aging section of our program, which means we're doing interviews. In our interview, Sheriff Allard. Great question from a viewer while we were at break. Question for Sheriff Allard. Is there a way to follow the violations that occur daily in the county? Now that newspapers aren't popular and the local news outlets sometimes fall short, except for Frankly Speaking, of course.
Yes.
It's tough to know what's happening locally, or maybe every day really is a beautiful day in Steuben County. I'm glad he brought this up.
For me.
This viewer brought this up because I wanted to mention the app. I mean,
the
it
Sheriff's
does a great
app.
job.
Steuben County Sheriff's app. That shows every person that's in our jail. That shows and everybody that goes through the centralized arraignment court ends up in our jail.
Right.
So you can follow that there. It also covers every one of our press releases that we do. It also covers, you can look up sex offenders in your neighborhood through it. And should you have the need to, you can schedule visitation with your loved one in the jail. And you can also put money in their commissary account if you need to. So the app is super beneficial to everybody, and it's very popular. It gets, we had one press release I did had over 150,000 views.
Wow.
And
I know the first time
in 24 hours.
You put Frankly Speaking up there, I think it was like over 1,000 views.
Immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
I started to say, what did I say? What did Frank say? Did I go viral for the wrong reason? But yeah, I'm glad that viewer mentioned that. So the app is fantastic. I highly recommend it.
So, and you can just go to your Apple, what is it, Play Store?
Yeah, Play Store
or whatever
for Google,
it is.
Anyway,
yeah. And download it, and it's free.
Yeah,
it's a free download, but it keeps you connected with what's going on at the sheriff's office and in our jail.
And I also like that you do put the press releases on there too, in case you miss it on the news.
They're all on there.
Yep. So I can't believe it's almost this time of the year already, but I'm getting ready for pig racing. The Steuben County Fair.
The highlight of the fair.
The highlight of the summer. So I assume, of course, you guys will be there set up again?
Yes, we will.
Yeah. Anything special?
We'll do our normal, I think. We'll have the boat patrol there for a day.
Okay.
And we'll do the bike helmet giveaway, and we'll have a car seat check, and we'll do the kid care IDs on another day, and we'll have our Stop DWI enforcement doing presentations. Okay. We will most likely have Emily's Challenge trailer.
That's what I wondered. Yeah,
there
last year was there the whole time, I think.
Yeah. So it'll be very similar to last year.
Okay.
It's a little bit earlier in August this year.
I know. Well, Joe
like a week
sent
earlier.
out asking everybody to sign up to do the Republican booth, and I said, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Summer just started, right?
Yeah. So
kind of sad.
But yeah, stop in, say hi, and we'll have a bunch of free giveaways and stuff at our little area.
Yeah. A comment from a viewer. Good morning, Frank, and good morning, Sheriff Allard. I've mentioned this before. I'm very much for no phones in the classroom. We mentioned that. At least until I consider some of the good that some young minds used it for. Okay, interesting. Some recorded things that parents really need to know and hear and see what's happening in the classroom.
Yeah.
What's interesting about that is And they said, I think that's the real reason for the ban. Please tell me I'm wrong. You don't raise a good point because I remember specifically back in radio, but even on this program, at the beginning, the startup of the school year, I knew there was going to be a section of the program dedicated to that first professor that got recorded saying something bad about
Something inappropriate.
Yeah, normally political, and that is a very good point. All right, before we go, it's the golf tournament. How's everybody's team looking? Billy Spalding's team, have they been practicing?
I hope so.
Yeah, they're going to need it. Is that what you're saying? No, we're talking about the ninth annual Law Enforcement Memorial Golf Tournament coming up on Friday, August 22nd at Twin Hickory. How's the planning going?
Real good.
Yeah.
Everything's going well. I think we're sitting pretty good. And again, if somebody wants to golf in that or have a team in that, they can reach out to me or to my secretary, Terry Moore, at 607-622-3930. All you have to do is have an active or retired member of law enforcement on your team.
All right. That's very nice. And you can find out more if you missed that or you have any questions. You can contact me as well. There's still teams. You can still be sponsors.
Yes.
So if because I know we got a lot
sponsors
and I know we got a lot of business leaders that watch this program. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and it all goes to a great cause, and it's a fun time.
It is. It's a good time.
Yeah. And we joke about Billy, but I know he's excited about being a part of it, and he's provides the food, right?
Yes,
of course.
Does.
So
yes, he does.
And that's all a part of the the Steuben County Sheriff's Foundation, which you talked about earlier, is a pretty amazing and unique group, isn't it?
It is. It's a very diverse group from across different professions, and the sole purpose of it is to provide training and equipment to members of the sheriff's office to benefits to Bend County. That's all it does.
So we're not,
and
you
it
don't
does
have to go to the taxpayer.
it also does scholarships to those that are pursuing a police career.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give them a plug.
Thank you.
And the golf tournament, again, is August 22nd at Twin Hickory. I hear Twin Hickory's beautiful.
It is. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were up there 3 years ago, I think. We did, because we like to move it around a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
And it was gorgeous.
Because it's just getting too easy for you. Is that what it is? You gotta.
Well, we don't want to ignore that half of the county.
Yes, no, I know, no, of course not. But it is fun, and it's a good group of people playing, and it's a nice day out. So Friday, August 22nd.
Yeah, it's always gorgeous.
Yeah, and make sure to say hi to all the guys at the Steuben County Fair. I think that does it first day. That went quick. It normally does.
It does.
You know who we have on tomorrow?
Who?
Assemblyman Joe Sempolinski.
Hey!
Fan favorite Joe Sempolinski's
Yes, he
going to be here.
is.
You know, perfect timing, though, because we keep mentioning and people just tuning in, Mike Lawler's going to decide whether or not he's going to run.
Joe will have a good
grasp on it.
Right.
And be able to tell us exactly his eye.
He'll be able to break it down. Yeah.
And that's what's interesting about having Joe on the program, because you can ask him about the Fed, because he was a congressman, ask about the Assembly, or anything on the state, and then he's the chairman of the Steuben County Republican Party. So we've got a little bit of everything covered.
He covers. Yeah.
And what I find when he's on the program, and can you tell I'm killing time? And we have like 30 seconds. But what I can tell when he's on the program, it's so funny because people almost play like Stump Joe. He'll just get like a random question about the Constitution. He's like, well, and he knows.
And he does know it. That's the scary part.
And I've told him that I don't ever ask him specifically off the air like, hey, someone asked this. You ready?
Yep.
He just goes with it.
That's cool.
So so we got some great guests coming up, and summer's going quick.
It's going quick. And Frank, thanks for what you do for bringing local news and local issues
thank you. I appreciate
to the airwaves, because nobody else is.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. On that note, I think that's a perfect way to end the program. Join us every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. for Frankly Speaking, only on WYDC TV. Big Fox, we'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. I look forward to it already.